All right, guys. I just thought I'd do a quick recap from the Vegas shoot because I put some videos up on my page for quite some time, and I titled those "Form Check," "Getting Practice for Vegas," "Getting Ready for Vegas," etc., etc. I was putting those videos up to let everybody kind of follow along from the beginning, if you will, to take you on the journey as I got to go to Vegas and shoot. It is literally, without a doubt, hands down by a huge number, the world's largest indoor archery shoot, if not the world's largest archery shoot, indoor, outdoor, anything combined. There was just 100 or something shy of 3,800 archers. It was crazy. The event took place at the South Point Hotel, Spa and Casino. It's called South Point in Las Vegas on the Strip, on the southern side of the Strip. So it's not where all the main casinos are. It's kind of out where they do more events and things like rodeos are there, a lot of horse stuff, equestrian, and this archery shoot's there every year. There were 3,800 roughly archers registered, and I was one of those. And I brought with me 3 people, my wife and 2 grandkids. And there were kids and family, there was spouse. I mean, I'll bet you there were 12,000 archery related people there. In the hotel, it was crazy. There were people walking around carrying bows like this, not in cases, but their bows and their quiver belts on and arrows, you know, in their quiver, and just, I mean, thousands and thousands of people walking through the casino. It was pretty unreal. And okay, so let's get into it. I had a great time. I showed up on Thursday afternoon, checked into the hotel, went down and registered. Actually, I had pre-registered, but I had to check in. So I checked in at the check-in point, and they probably could have done a little bit better job identifying where all these places were, hanging signs and things. They hung a bunch of banners and posters promoting archery product sponsors, even pro archers who were sponsored by, I mean, they definitely had access to posting banners and posters and all sorts of things like that. They could have probably done a little bit better job posting where to go, because it was confusing. I didn't know where to shoot, I didn't know where to practice. I had to ask, and it wasn't hard to get to them once you found out where they were, but just hanging signs up would have gone a lot. The event was totally professional, I will say that. It was run real well. You started right on time. I never had a single delay in any of my shoots. I shot on Friday morning at 7:30 in the morning. I didn't do that good. I shot a 287, which means I missed 13 points out of a total of 300. 300 is a perfect score. I shot a 287. I was really bummed. So I went down, I practiced later that day, practiced that night, got up the next morning. I had to shoot at 3 on Saturday, and so I was up at 8 o'clock shooting. 8 in the morning I shot, and then I went and practiced again right before I shot, you know, warming up and getting ready. Shot a 284. My scores went down 3 points. Keep in mind my average here at home and in my range that I've got inside my shop, I can shoot 295. I shot a perfect 300. A bunch of 298s, a lot of 297s, 295, 296 is my average. I get there and I'm 10 points off my average just because of the nerves. It was amazing. I got to, I mean, when I'm at home, my pin dot is just like, oh, you know, it just moves a little bit. It just sits there. When I got to Vegas the first time I pulled, even in practice, even when I was practicing, my pin was like this. And I'm trying to get it, you know, on the spot, and it isn't on there. And I shoot what's called a hinge type release. And the way this works, kind of funny. I'll get into something here on day 3, but you hook it up to your bow. Don't want to hit that. And when you anchor here, what you do is you're going to rotate back. Did you see how I did that? And you're going to pull. It's set pretty light right now for some reason. I was shooting here earlier. But you draw your bow back, you anchor, and then you are going to, I won't do it here, but you're actually going to pull this whole side of your hand back like that. just a little bit until you think you're about ready, and then you're pulling with your back, and you pull, and it goes off. So you're going to actually pull and come like that, and you don't know when your shot's going to go off, and that way you can't flinch or jump, and it's a surprise shot. And so with your left hand that's holding the bow, you just have to hold it right on that target. Like I said, at home, I'm right there, just holding it right on there. But in Vegas, I was like this, and I couldn't get it. So I found myself, and I mean, just forcing the shot to go off when it got close. And I was hitting terrible scores, but my nerves were through the roof. So I get there Saturday, drop even more, shot 284. Sunday, I qualified, even with those scores, for a flight, and I found out that in that flight, I was in flight like 22, which means, and there's 30 archers per flight, so I was way down the list, and rightfully so. And I think I was mid-pack going in there. I was only down by 1 point from the first place guy, but you know, there was, I don't know, 12 or 1,500 archers in my class, and there were so many guys with the same, and ladies, with the same exact score as me, or 1 point different, that we all filled that one flight. So I thought, well, I've got a real good chance, because I know I can bump out high 290s. You know, and if everything came right, I could shoot a perfect 300, and I could win this event and win some cash. And I got there on Sunday, and I had to shoot Sunday at 7:30 in the morning again. And so I got up at 5 o'clock. I was out of my hotel room. I was shooting at 5:45, 6 o'clock in the morning, and it was going okay. Wasn't going that good, but I was doing better. And I thought, all right, I'm going to at least shoot a 290. I'm going to shoot a 290. It'd be 5 off my average. So I open up, and this is the actual target from Vegas. I open up my first 2 ends, and you shoot 1 arrow, 1 arrow, 1 arrow. That's called an end. And then the other guy comes up and shoots at the target right below yours. He shoots that, and that on his target face. This is mine. He has his own. And that's his end. And then we go up and we score, and we pull our arrows, and we come back and do it again for the second end. I shoot boom, boom, boom. Well, those first 2 ends, I hit an X, an X, and an X. And I'm thinking, man, I'm on my way. I am going to shoot perfect. And I'm building up X's. My next one, I miss an X. My next end, I miss an X, but I still get the 10. I get another, or actually here I get another X, and I miss the X there, I get a 10, and I get another X here. And so I got 4 X's in 2 ends, and I got a perfect score going. And then I think on my third one, I just barely missed, and I got a 9 here, got another 10, got another 10, only dropped 1. I'm on my way to doing really good, and I'm feeling good. And you know, the people that I'm shooting with are saying, man, that's good shooting. And now my confidence, because tell you what, with archery, it's all nerves and confidence. You've got to have a shot sequence and a shot execution process that you just repeat over and over, and like a robot. And that's how you get consistency downrange. And mine's okay. I haven't been doing it long enough to even claim that it's good. It's just okay. But it's efficient, or I thought. Well, then I get, you know, moving through there, and we get into, I think I've dropped 2 points or 3 points halfway through after the 5th end. And so I thought, well, if I double that, I'll drop 6. I'll be at a 294. I'll win my flight, because the average guy is shooting a 285 in that category we were at, and I'm going to shoot, you know, just about 10. And I'm going to shoot 9 above that. I should win that flight pretty easy. Well, so halfway through in the 5th end, my targets were on the bottom, and the other guy in my lane, his target was on the top. And it's that way all the way down through 60. I think there's 60 bales with 4 archers per bale. 2 are side by side shooting on the bottom, and then 2 are side by side shooting on the top. And then halfway through, they switch. The guys that were on the bottom pull their targets, they put them on the top, and the guys on the top pull theirs, put them on the bottom. And they do that so that it's, you know, it's fair to both archers, because I think it's actually a little bit easier shooting high. It's not high, it's like level. And the bottom ones, you're shooting down a little bit. Really doesn't matter a whole lot, I don't think. It might matter more to some, I guess, than others. So we switch, and I'm only dropped 3 points, and I'm feeling excited. And so I get back and I hook up and I get my anchor and I'm set. And I remember, okay, they moved my target from the bottom. I moved my target from the bottom to the top. So I get up there and I'm set. And I just want to make sure that I'm on my target, because the targets are touching top to bottom and almost left to right. There's only a few inches of gap between the two on the top. And a lot of guys, I saw it on Friday, a guy that I was shooting with, he was right next to me shooting. He actually shot the guy above him's target. He pulled up, and when you're looking through your bow scope, it's only 29 millimeters. It's super small. When you're looking through that scope, it's hard. I mean, all you can see is, when you look through the scope, all you can see is this ring. You can't even see the rest of these. All you can see is that one. So it's real easy to think you're on yours, but actually yours is up here, and you're picking up the other guy's top target or something like that. It happens a lot. I didn't want it to happen to me, because I finally had a good score coming, and I was gonna try to win my flight. So I'm set up, and I got my anchor. I'm looking, and I thought, pretend like this right here is the scope. So I'm like that, and I thought, I want to make sure this is my target. So I lift the scope up, because I've got a name tag up above that says flood. So I'm like this, and so I lift the scope up and I look, and right as I come back down, my release went off. I wasn't ready. That change of elevation was enough to cause this sear to have enough pressure to where, boom, it sent the arrow. Not once, 2 in a row. And I ended up with a 6. I dropped 4 points. I ended up with almost another 6. I ended up getting a 7 on that 9-8, or an 8 and a 7. I'm sorry. Dropped another 2-3 points. Did it twice in a row. And I realized that, and I didn't know what was going on at first, but when I had this thing anchored, normally, I got it set to where it goes off pretty easy. Boom, it goes off. Boom, it goes off. Well, when I lifted my up, it rotated this just enough, and when I brought it back down and I dropped my shoulder, it was enough tension to release that arrow, and I dropped. Actually, it was 2 7s I got, and I dropped 6 points in 2 arrows. Accompany that with the 3 that I dropped in my first 5 ends, that's 9 points. And I still got 4 more ends to go. I still got 12 more arrows to shoot. I'm flustered. My mind is just upset. I'm thinking, what is going on? I think on that round, I think I shot 8, another 8, just because all that momentum I had going, all that, just put it in cruise control, all that was gone. It's amazing how fast it can happen. So, but it was pretty, it was a good event. It was a good experience. I definitely wish there was more things I could go to. I want to go back again next year. I'm looking forward to shooting that. The PSC Perform, the Perform X shot really good. Can't complain about it. The bow did its job. I just couldn't do mine. It's amazing how the nerves, and I love competition, whether I'm flying airplanes or wrestling or racing motorcycles or whatever it is I'm doing. My adrenaline's always pumping, and your body shakes, and your endorphins are released, and that's kind of why a lot of people that like to compete, they do it. It's not a high like people say. It's not that. It's just there's a chemical reaction that takes place inside of your body, and I like that. And I just like I like competing, and I have a good time. It was still fun. I was down when I biffed those 2 shots. I was definitely down, but a few arrows later, I was over it, thinking, just keep shooting, do the best you can. But I like doing it. I'll definitely go back, do it again a little bit more. So I just need a little more practice, do a little bit more mental preparedness. Not sure what I'm going to be able to do there, but looking forward to it. I'm looking around for some other shoots right now that I can do to help build that emotional roller coaster, that up and down, that mental. Because when you're shooting and those nerves are going, when you're flying, remote control airplanes and racing, yeah, you might be shaking, but the radio has a built-in compensating factor for that shake is called exponential. And what it is you can increase the values to where you move your stick up and down, left and right, and it doesn't actually have any input on the control surfaces. And you can add just a little bit of that to where you can only move it a little, or you can add a lot of that exponential where you can move a lot. I'm exaggerating, but just so you can see, to where it doesn't move. Just depends on how much you shake. In archery, you don't have that ability. And on the backside, you've got this, and so if you're shaking, you know, your whole arm, your muscles, you normally are set like this, and that's your draw length. But as you get nervous, your muscles contract and you pull hard, and now your draw length changes, and you're shaking with this hand, and this is controlling the back end of the arrow. So that back end of that arrow is doing this, it's vibrating around, and when it goes, it goes. And your left hand is holding the bow, and your left hand is shaking, your arms are shaking, and this is shaking. I was watching some guy with their, they were so nervous, you could see the arrows in their quiver, you know, because you carry like 5, 6, 7 arrows. Their arrows were just shaking all over, almost rattling. Their whole body was shaking, and I'm sure mine was too. But it's something that you've got to be able to control those nerves, you know. And I just couldn't. My nerves got the best of me. I think I ended up 23rd in my flight, which was terrible. It was way down the bottom, 2/3 of that group. So we'll be doing some more practicing, trying to figure out how I can build in some forgiveness in the scope assembly to where I don't see that pin. And there's a lot of ways to do it. I won't go into it on this video, but there's things you can do to kind of hide or mask some of that to where you don't see all the details that are going on. So, but that's my Vegas wrap up. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'm looking forward to doing more videos on more archery shoots and tournaments and things like that. So thanks for watching.